Hi, you guys. I've just been so driven to look at this full moon that's coming up. This I found a little bit disturbing. As you know, I've done 4 parts total about this full moon that's happening. And specifically, what I'm doing right now is looking at the Taroscope and now the agencies of our government to see how this all fits, because we have 2 things that are happening. We have this outbreak of La Cerveza and how it's being managed, and how PPE has been hoarded, and how PPE has been distributed overseas. We also have this secondary part that while everything was going crazy last week, their state telecommunications had a major heist of our major streaming networks like Amazon, Facebook, hosting companies like GoDaddy. All of that traffic got rerouted through that telecommunications carrier last week. And if they're going to reroute traffic, they're going to siphon off data. So there's those 2 big pieces that I'm looking at. I was just looking at HUD, the Housing Urban Development Agency, wondering, what are they up to? I think this is by far the most disturbing Taroscope I've seen, and I'll tell you why. Here, get my notes. First of all, the card that's on the ascendant, think of the card of the reading, is the King of Swords reversed. This, through clarifiers, here's the Knight of Pentacles, has to do with the Knight of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups. Oh my gosh, look at here. The Knight of Pentacles, the money offers that are happening, the Ace of Cups, because of Russia, China. I think this has to do with the telecommunications and the web traffic. And Russia, China, their governments, is the means the 3 of Cups. And now I know that the meaning of the 3 of Cups is retribution for impeachment. So essentially, the King of Swords being turned on its head, law and order has been turned over by Russia, China, and through stealing our data for retribution for the impeachment. So, housing urban development. This is what's giving them life. Retribution for that. I could not believe how much Russia is in this Taroscope. The tarot tells us about the identity of HUD, who they are. Right off the bat is Empress, Trump Russia. The astrology says look to the partnerships, the 10 of Cups, the Republican parties, and what they planned for the country. It's getting triggered by the solar eclipse. Also, okay, that goes to this. So housing urban development, we have this area that has to do with income gains, values. It also has to do with things of value. Like last week, the PPE was so incredibly valuable. Well, so is La Cerveza virus. This is what represents this. So HUD was in receipt of this as an asset. Why is that? Well, the 2nd house, the astrology says, look to the 10th house. HUD received the virus. This says, look to the 10th house, what's crowning Washington, D.C., and the government. They're using this to transform the government, because up here the astrology says beginnings and endings. We have the government. Then the astrology says, look to the 5th house, which is Don Julio, his nightmare that is to be unleashed. This is his ownership. The 4 of Cups, he has the 4 of Cups, what he's forcing upon the nation. And being in the 5th house, what is he going to force upon us? It says, look to the 3rd house messages. This is transmitting an airborne virus. The 4 of Cups. Do me a favor, though, and you're going to like it. Transmit something airborne. HUD, at the base of HUD, what's bearing down on defenses of HUD as an agency, it's the Hermit. I'm looking for a place. I'm looking for something to defend. It's like this area defending home, this area has to do with neighborhoods. It's investigating a neighborhood to release this, okay? To benefit them and them. HUD is being judged. The truth should be coming out with death. That's all the death that is happening that our public workers are having to manage. The shared resources of HUD is the High Priestess. There's a lot of election information then that's going between HUD and the U.S. This is what HUD shares. This is why Ben Carson is in charge. Because the 9th house, Putin's house far away, treason, heartbreak originated there. HUD's hopes, wishes, friends, timing has to do with the devil. The devil is Putin. Their secret is the 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups is the setting that let all of this pervasive virus thrive, so that in the background these guys could do the heist with the telecommunications. Because in the last video, part 4, I show you what the heist was with our digital information and government. This is HUD's secret. The hidden enemy is how Pentacles, they find this virus as a value, was doled out in certain areas because they investigated neighborhoods, because the virus is an asset. And the 2 of Cups, it's an agreement to do that. I find that terribly disturbing. So we're going to ask Ben Carson. Ben Carson. Thank you, Tarot. Ben Carson. Ben Carson. Ben Carson, what do you know about distribution of this? Because it's your asset of your agency. What do you know about the distribution of it? Ben Carson, what do you know about the distribution of it? What do you know about the distribution of it? There you go. Someone took it. Someone made an offer to distribute it. At the base of this person distributing it, we have theft, to steal. That goes hand in hand with the telecommunications operation that was going on. This is also stealing PPE. Okay, so there's 2 forms of theft, and I would add money there, but at the basis of what this person was doing, how it was distributed, because at the basis foundation of this was theft. This person, what's crowning this person? Oh, oh, oh. The Fool is an indicted person. Inverted is this person didn't quite get off to the start that they wanted to, or Ben Carson, what do you know about this? Could be Ben Carson. Impulsive start, bad start, no plan. Because in the past, what happened, Ben? Stockpile. and also receipt of a lot of this. But I am going with stockpile, leading to entrapment. So this could be the hospitals that don't have stuff and they're entrapped with people who are ill. Or it could be that he himself is entrapped. What's your challenge, Ben, with what you know about how this was distributed? The news that was coming overseas. It's always the news that's coming overseas because he's covered in setting this up. He set this up. You know who else got this Eight of Cups for setting stuff up? DeVos. There's some key players with setting stuff up. Betsy DeVos did it with the education department for data. So did FEMA, setting this stuff up. Third house, neighborhoods, communications. I think that's because of PPE. The EPA also setting stuff up. So, oh, what's on the base? Oh, look what's at the base of this. Speaker Pelosi knows. Speaker Pelosi freaking knows about the Trump campaign and what they're doing with Russia. So I will tell you that Speaker Pelosi also showed up as the secret for which agency? She showed up as a secret for the Department of Agriculture. And for their card of the reading, the Ascendant, they had the Three of Pentacles. The Tarot said that that was one of the most important cards this week, were the secret talks that were happening. And now they've been having them with Speaker Pelosi. So yay. So she's on it. And okay, so this is why Ben Carson didn't get off to a great start. I think he's been caught. How do we see Ben Carson and what he knows about the distribution of the coronavirus? Where to distribute it? This was the environment. All these burdens. All these flipping burdens. He is carrying water for Don Julio. What was your hope and what you knew about this? Yes, my yes card. His hope was yes. Yes, this will work. Yes. Your fear. Getting out of control worldwide. And this being the end of him. What are your next steps, Ben? With HUD. The Emperor. What are you going to do about that? What's your final outcome, Ben? Oh, this is where the Lover's card is. This was the most important card for the tarot in regards to the 7th house of the people, the lovers who committed this act. Looks like HUD played a role. What are your next steps with the Emperor? The White House? Trump, Russia, their agreements? And the government. What's going to happen with you and the lovers here? Final outcome is the lovers. What is that about? That's the final outcome with what you know. Investigating. The timing. The timing showed up a lot before too. And taking action. Yeah. Okay. Ben, you're the Fool reversed. That's crowning you. What does that mean? You have to make a choice. Yes, a very decisive choice. How you want to end this. How are you going to end this? Are you going to be the informant, the Page of Swords? Ah, there's another Page of Swords. I'm betting yes. You're covered in the Eight of Cups. What does that mean? You know something was set up? What was set up? What was set up? The fight. Is this Facebook? No, this is just fighting. You're covered in the setup of where to do it, where it would cause the most damage. Page of Swords, air. Yep. Okay, what kind of news is this overseas that's a challenge for how this happened? What was the news that was received? Because I keep seeing this Page of Wands. What does this Page of Wands have to do with it? What's this Page of Wands? News from Trump, Russia. Donald's burdens his debts to and intelligence agents and okay, yeah. Just more of the same coming out. I will add, February 17th, the arrest of Yehmev, I think Yehmev, Anisimov, the guy who is the go-between in Kazakhstan, whose country's also got lots of PPE. That guy seems to be at the heart of the money and data transfers in elections, in my opinion. I could be wrong. What are you stealing? White House for China. Data. That's what they're stealing. And money. Speaker Pelosi. What do you know from Ben Carson about the virus? What do you know about Ben Carson and the distribution of the virus? What do you know, Speaker Pelosi? You know that at the base of this, he was forced to. The Four of Cups right here in the House of the Sun, Donald. What's covering Ben? Russia's strength over him, because in the past, Ben... things needed to happen quickly to create a nightmare because the Emperor, Donald and Putin, needed some help and assurance. That's what Russia says. So they needed a plan. What's the challenge with what you know about Ben? The assault that was committed on American soil. Covered in the Trump-Russia agreement. Ben couldn't get it done, and that this was retribution for impeachment. And there's the star. This is the heist for all of that data that's being stolen. So I could be totally wrong, but this is the closest thing I've seen with a direction to where to distribute, where to put it, and getting caught. This is, wow. So much stuff is going to happen in the coming, by the end of April. Oh my God, it's going to be huge. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. Please click like if you like this video. Likes help me, and subscribe. Thank you.